Hey guys, welcome back to Healthy Happy Life. So today I want to talk about changing your life. So, for me, what I've been able to do so far is, like I just told you guys recently, I've lost 103 pounds. I've done that on intermittent fasting, working out, and using Weight Watchers. And I've talked about that a little bit, prior. But I really want to talk about like what are the tools that you can use that you can start realizing for yourself that's actually going to help you get motivated to do what you need to do. So first of all, I just want to talk about like what happened for me, like what actually made me go from being somebody that's 330 pounds and not really giving a shit like what I ate every day or not caring about like working out and becoming healthy to somebody that is now 227 pounds, works out all the time, watches everything that she eats, makes sure that I get my water in every day. Complete 180 of who I was. And I did that in the past, it's now 14 months? Yeah, I've done that. So, for me, what I've done is I've started reading a lot of books, watching stuff on YouTube from different motivators, and all that. But really how it started for me in the beginning was I was planning to go on a cruise with my friends. We do this like every other year in October. We just go on a cruise. Well, I found myself looking at the cruise ship online and seeing like the size of the seats because it was a Royal Caribbean ship. And I hadn't been on a Royal Caribbean ship since I was a teenager. So I wasn't sure like, how is the seating going to be? Like, is it going to be too tight? Am I going to be uncomfortable? I've never had a situation where I didn't fit into a chair. I never got to the point where I was that big where I literally couldn't sit down. I always could, but anytime I've gone to like concert venues, and tried to sit down, and I would be able to, but I would be unbelievably uncomfortable the entire time because like the edge of the chair is like cutting into me, and it was just horrible. So I've had different situations with different like concert halls or different like amphitheater type things or things like that. And I was worried about that with the cruise ship, how the dining chairs would be in the dining room. How would the show theater chairs be? All that stuff. So I was like watching and looking on the pictures online trying to see it. Like, does that look pretty big? Like, or is it like really cramped so they can fit everybody in? That kind of stuff. And it was like, I just got sick of it. I was like, really? I'm spending my time, and here I'm looking forward to this cruise, but I'm like spending my time worried about like, am I going to fit in the chairs comfortably the whole time? Like, that's horrible. That is not a way to live your life. So that's basically where I was at. I had very, very many moments like in the last like year or two before that, of where I was just like, okay, like, this is annoying me that I'm overweight because of this. This is annoying, but nothing to actually motivate me until that. And I know that sounds silly because it's something I should have realized before, but like, it is what it is. It's just, I finally realized like, I wanted more for my life than that. I didn't want to have limitations in my life anymore. And another thing was that when you're like booking tours for these cruises, they have like all these different things of like restrictions and like weight limits where you can't weigh over a certain amount to go horseback riding. You can't weigh over a certain amount to go zip lining, things like that. And it's like, really? So I know it sounds silly. That's what kind of got me motivated. But what happened is I thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to try Weight Watchers. I'm just going to see how it goes and see if I can do this. So I did. And Weight Watchers is incredible. Like once you start Weight Watchers, you realize, wow, this is a lot easier than I thought it was. Like, you just got to sit there, take meals that you normally make and punch them in, see how many points they are. And then you realize, wait a minute, like, all I have to do is adjust this and this. Like, this is what's costing so many points for this. Can I substitute for this for anything else? If I can't, okay, let me move on to another dinner suggestion of like a recipe that I normally make and figure out the substitutions that I can make. Or instead of having, this side, have this, a different side. Like, okay, this large baked potato is 8 points. Let me have this medium-sized potato instead so that I stay within my points. That's all it is it's teaching you how to be healthy. So once I realized that, I thought, okay, I can do this. And that's what started to propel me into the motions that have gotten to me where I'm at, at this point. I'm still trying to lose weight, by the way. I still have 77 pounds more to go. You can see I'm not skinny mini. But yeah, I'm still working hard at it, and I'll get there because I will not give up until I do. And I mean, I'm still not going to give up. I still have to remain healthy the rest of my life, but you know what I mean? I will keep going. I will hardcore keep going until I get there. And then I'll remain healthy the rest of my life. I know that now. I know that I can do this and it's within my grasp. But I had to have an initial thing that made me go, you know what? I'm sick of this bullshit. Like, this is enough. So you have to have a strong enough reason to want to change your life. So that's the first thing. But, and Tony Robbins talks about this a lot. He talks about how you have to have strong enough reasons, but you can't just have a good reason, because a lot of people can have a reason. Well, I need to make more money. I need to lose weight. I need to, treat my wife or my spouse better so I have a better, relationship. All these things that you want in your life that you want to do, you can't just have a reason for it. You have to have a standard for it. So what does that mean? Okay. A standard means, for me, for example, like with my weight and everything, my standard was I wanted to be able to sit in a chair and not feel like, oh my God, this chair is like tight as hell on me and I'm uncomfortable for the next 2 hours that I watch this show when I go on a cruise ship. My standard was I want to be able to go ziplining with my friends and not feel like, oh, I can't because I weigh over the weight limit and it's not safe for me to do so. I wanted to not have restrictions on my life. So I had those strong enough reasons, and then I had a standard of, okay, there's my reason, but I'm going to do that. This is going to be my new standard because I wanted it bad enough. So you have to have standards of what you will accept in your life and what you won't accept in your life. I'll give you another example real quick. I had horrible credit like years ago. And so did my husband, actually, when I first met him. We both had bad credit. I fixed both of our credit. And then I got us approved for a house. And then we saved up the money for the house and did all that. And we got into a house and we bought our own house. Now, years ago, I would have thought, I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that because I had horrible credit. But I just kept working on it and working because in my head, I had thought to myself, you know what? Once I get married, I need to get my shit together. I can't be a loser that doesn't own their own house, that has terrible credit, that can't afford to go get a car without a cosigner. Like, I can't be this loser anymore. Like, in my head, I told myself, like, once you're married, you need to get your life together in every way possible. Like, and I had told myself so that when we got married, like, I fixed her credit and did all that with the house. Like I told you, I also bought life insurance. I made sure that our 401ks were set up. Like, all these, like, adult things I told myself you have to do when you get married. That's just something I created in my head. That's not like some standard of living, but my standard changed. So when your standard changes, then you can raise the bar. Some people's standard in their life is that they're always going to be healthy and in shape. So what do? Every day they go and work out and they eat healthy foods. They have higher standards for themselves because the standard they told themselves is that I'm going to be healthy. I'm not going to have issues of being overweight and being diabetic and all that because I'm going to be healthy. Well, that's easy for anyone to do once you realize that you want to change, once you realize that you want to change your standard, but also have reasons to back them up. The last thing that you need when you want to change your life, besides those two elements, is the fact that you have what Tony Robbins calls as rituals. So rituals just mean habits. So habits of shit that you do every day that you're just so used to doing it, you don't even think, you just do it. Once you can get to that point, and those are those are ritual or habits that serve you. Sometimes you have those that don't serve you. Maybe you're overweight and you have a habit of when you get home from work, because you had a long day, you grab a bag of Cheetos and you sit and watch TV for like 30 minutes to an hour and you watch Cheetos. That's something I used to do. Well, that wasn't serving me, that habit. You know what I do now when I get done with work at the end of the day at 5 o'clock? I go across the street to the gym and I work out for an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. And I do that at least 5 days a week. And then I come home and I make dinner and I make myself a healthy food, choices that are within my points. So I have certain rituals that I do now that are different than what they were before. In the morning when I get up, I try to have either like a shot of wheatgrass or I have a glass of lemon water to help get the toxins out of my body. And before I even started to learn to do that, I just drank at least a glass of water just to get everything flowing through my body. And that was another thing too, is you got to keep up with your water with weight loss. But the point is if you want to change your life, you can do that, but you have to come up with a system that's going to work. You can't just say, well, I really want to lose weight, and you don't come up with a plan. How you come up with a plan is you have to increase your standard. So your standard's down here because your standard's to just be fat and do, eat whatever you want to eat and not exercise every day. So that's where your standard is. And then you can think to yourself, like, how did I get to there? Like, what are all the things that gave me that before? Now, what are the things that I can do instead to make my life better? What are the rituals or the habits that I can do every day that can give me what I want? That's the only way you can achieve any goal. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's weight loss or whatever, getting a better career and advancing yourself. It all comes down to break it down, figure out exactly what you need to do, and then do it every day. Now, here's the other thing. Here's like my part 2 of the video. When you think about like changing your life and doing all that stuff, all that's well and good. A lot of people say, oh, I really want to lose weight. I want to do this, but they don't have the drive to do that. You have to realize that sometimes in life, to change your life and to be disciplined in changing your life, like doing the things that you don't necessarily at the beginning want to do. Like, for example, me working out at 5 o'clock when I get done with work every day. Okay. Did I used to not want to do that? Yeah. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go sit on the couch and be lazy. But I had to get to a point in my life where all the standards that we talked about before, all that, there's that. But I also had to realize that if I love myself and I want to care for myself, then I need to do the things that like need to get done, in other words. Okay. So in other words, sometimes I want to eat a pizza, but eating that pizza afterwards, is that going to make me feel any better? Am I going to feel like crap? Yeah. But not just that, is it going to be bad for my body and help me gain weight? Yeah. But not just that, what's going to happen after that? Is it going to take me a week to 2 weeks to lose the weight that I just gained from eating that pizza? Yeah. And where does that serve me? It doesn't serve me. Like, that's just putting me behind my plan. So you have to realize that sometimes in life, doing the things that you don't necessarily want to do, like whether it be doing your homework, let's say, because you're in college, right? And you got to do your homework. And do you want to do that? Do you want to go to the movies instead with your friends? Yeah. But what's going to serve you better? What's going to give you the long-term success? That's what you have to realize in life, is sometimes you have to do the things that they don't seem as much fun at the time, but they're going to be the real rewards in life. The more you do those type of things for yourself that really align with what you actually want in your life, that is where life gets good. I've been the happiest that I've ever been in this last year since I decided to make a change to losing weight. And that's overall, that's not just health, like just happy in general, because I'm doing the things that I said that I was going to do. When you show up in life and you say, I'm going to wake up at such and such time and I'm going to work out and I'm going to do that, and you do that, you know how much self-confidence that you have in your life when you, oh, somebody's here. Oh, FedEx guy or something. You know how much self-confidence you have in your life when you actually do the things that you say that you're going to do? When you show up for yourself? You know, a lot of times people think that like self-confidence or self-love and their self-esteem and all that is, they think really how other people perceive them. And that's a bunch of bullshit. It's really how you perceive yourself, because in the back of your mind, you know whether you did the stuff that you said you were going to do. If you said you were going to eat right today so that you could lose weight and you didn't, you're the one that's going to feel crappy about it in the end. Nobody else. You know what you really should be doing, what's really in line with what you want out of life. So those are some of the things I wanted to talk to you about. Trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say. I guess that's pretty much it. I'll have way more of these videos as I go, but I just, you know, I didn't want to just have a channel that was devoted to, hey, here's my tips and tricks of like the foods that I eat or the exercises I do, which I would like to do that stuff. But I wanted to talk about the mental stuff, because so much of what this is, it's in your mind. It's like realizing this stuff. Oh, you know what? Before I let you guys go, I had a couple other points that I wanted to make and I forgot about them. Oh, geez, here we go. So, I made me realize of it is because I was thinking about, you know, a lot of like what you're dealing with is in your mind. Like, in other words, the story you tell yourself that you're like either good enough to do something or not good enough to do something, and you let that live on in your mind over and over again, the more you do that, the more you think you're not capable of that. Like, for example, I used to tell myself like, oh, I can't, like just different like sporting things. Like, I can't do zip lining. So I didn't do it because I like told myself there's no way I could do that. And it wasn't even about the weight limit. That was one of the things that I did end up doing on that cruise when we went last October. But it was a couple things. It was the weight limit. I had to get below that to be able to even do it. But it was also like, oh, you can't do that. I used to tell myself stuff like that. And that's horrible. Like, why would you limit your life like that? And I did that times 100, like different things, like in my head, always limiting myself in life. Like, why would you do that? Your life can be so much more full and more happy if you actually like try things that you're scared of trying and doing things. So that I was terrified to do that. I literally told myself, yeah, right as you're holding on to go zipline, I told myself, yeah, there's a good chance you might die right now, but you're going to do it. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but I was just like, I'm going to do this. I don't care. I'm not going to limit myself anymore. I'm so sick of living a life of limiting myself and not doing things that scared me or that I wanted to try because I thought that I wasn't good enough. And that's just bullshit. So I guess my point is to you, and I had to add this at the end, is you really can't limit your life anymore. You have to start realizing these are the things that I actually want in my life, and I'm going to get them, and this is how I'm going to get them, and come up with the rituals and tasks that you have to do every day to get what you want, and you can do that. So make sure you like and subscribe this video. Well, like the video, but subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna definitely add more to it, and I promise I'll get better at editing and all that stuff. But yeah, thanks so much, guys. Take care.